Jimmy Kimmel just learned the hard way that when you spit on the grave of such a beloved figure, don't be surprised when the living spit back. Let's get into it. My name is Casey and I started this channel to try to provide a future of faith, fatherhood, and freedom in our country, and I have been taken aback, as many have over the last week, in the passing of Charlie Kirk. But there is hope, there is revival, and there will be a revolution, and it might just start at late night TV. Jimmy Kimmel took a shot at the unfortunate passing and the legacy of Charlie Kirk and stated that it was an impossibility that it was anyone other than a MAGA representative who did this. Let's look into exactly what he said.
With the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them, and doing everything they can to score political points.
Shocked. Well, not that
ABC and their parent company Disney, along with Sinclair, actually gave him an indefinite suspension, which could be rectified if he makes an apology publicly, as well as a donation to the Kirk family.
Bob Iger, the CEO of Disney's parent company, was quick to suspend the show indefinitely. On Thursday, Sinclair Broadcasting, a rival TV giant with conservative bent, upped the ante even further, saying ABC's suspension of Jimmy Kimmel was insufficient, and now announcing it will yank Jimmy Kimmel Live from its stations until the host apologizes directly to the Kirk family and donates money to TPUSA. Oof.
This isn't cancel culture. This is the exact table that has already been set by the other side, just working in reverse. And just because we put up a couple runs on the board does not necessarily mean that we aren't taking advantage of the same exact system which has been pressed on us over the last 10 years.
Mr. Kimmel's remarks were inappropriate and deeply insensitive at a critical moment for our country. Sinclair Vice Chairman Jason Smith said in an announcement, "We believe broadcasters have the responsibility to educate and elevate respectful, constructive dialogue in our communities." Just by the way, Jimmy Kimmel said that Charlie Kirk's death was similar to the death of a goldfish. That's what he said. Meanwhile, an unnamed insider told the Wall Street Journal that the Kimmel Show could be back within a few days.
Really? Say, congratulations, you played yourself.
There are an extreme amount of examples in which speech has been dictated by the cultural hegemonic forces of the left, and there have been times since 2020 when if you didn't want to inject certain medications in your body that you could be subject to being canceled online, or if you didn't go along with some of the cultural forces that happened during the Summer of Love, you could be canceled online. And so those things fall extremely short of saying that someone's passing is in fact worth celebrating. And so if the mob comes in reverse a little bit, it's really just a correction, not a cancellation that was going undeserved, not based on the rules that have been set by the other side.
Text a lot of very ugly speech, but if you celebrate Charlie Kirk's death, you should not be protected from being fired for being a disgusting person. If you're a university professor who benefits from American tax dollars, you should not be celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. And if you are, maybe you should lose your job, or your university should face a loss of funding. If you are the kind of person who thinks that Charlie Kirk was justifiably murdered, sometimes the government can't do anything about that, but you know what can is civil society. And I've actually been gratified to see all these people standing up and saying, yes, we have free speech, and yes, we have free debate, but if you're celebrating the death of a young father, you ought to pay some consequences for it, and the American people are rising up against that evil. It's a great thing to see.
There is no way forward unless we can at least in some fashion come together, and that may necessitate that some of these voices are removed from the public discourse, because it is important that we would have the ability to speak our thoughts without making direct threats against people who simply speak their mind online. And not only that, but to the kids, the Gen Zers of college campuses, I greatly admire the strength and the fortitude that it took to continually do that and have conversations in places where it matters. And it is time to regain our voice and to begin to use it, even if, yes, that means that a few people get removed from the Overton window. those cultural forces should come for Destiny and for Hassan Piker, who have made very nearly direct threats to people on the right and said that conservatives should fear for their lives. Their day is coming. Let's do this together. If you would, please like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate it very much. Let's go.